Here's what happened to the lupin leaf starter. I made a batch of ciabatta to see how it would turn out. The crumb is full of big holes and has a great chewy texture. Of course, some of the holes aren't distributed very evenly, so there's still room for improvement. Basically, as long as I have this bread, half my meal prep is done. In the morning, I fill it with eggs, at lunch with beef, and at dinner with chicken cutlets.
Just throw in a soft-boiled egg and it tastes amazing.
Here is how to make dough with an improver. Mix these ingredients until combined. You can knead manually, but I'm using an improver. Rest it in the fridge for an hour to develop gluten, aiding temperature control later. If you don't have a Levain starter, you can substitute it with a Polish starter in equal amounts. Whenever you add ingredients, always start by mixing them together at low speed. My machine only has low, high, and ultra-high speeds, so here I'm using the high speed, which is basically medium speed. The dough has been cold fermented and autolyzed, so the temperature control is excellent, and the hydration level is quite high. If the dough sticks to the bowl, use a scraper to help lift and close the dough from the bottom. The finished dough is relatively smooth and elastic. The gluten film is also finer and more delicate than the one after just autolysis. Next, we add the remaining water. First, we cut the dough open, which helps it incorporate better. Use a low speed and let it mix. At this stage, the dough will become quite messy, but that's okay. The structure will rebuild itself later. I divided the remaining water into 3 additions, and I used ice water each time. If the weather is too hot, you can add ice cubes as well. The final dough temperature should be kept below 25 degrees Celsius. As you can see, the result is still very good. Once all the water has been absorbed, we stretch the dough to check it. You should see a very thin membrane. Now add the rosemary olive oil I made myself. Add the olive oil in 2 to 3 additions, each time on low speed, waiting for it to be absorbed before adding the next portion. In the end, the dough should look glossy and smooth. Tighten it up a bit on high speed, then take it out and let it proof at 28 degrees Celsius for half an hour. After that, fold the dough from all 4 sides. Finally, slap the dough down twice, like you're cuddling a cat. Let it ferment overnight in the fridge. The next day, take it out and let it come to room temperature, 28 degrees Celsius, for half an hour. If you don't have a proofing cloth, just use some oil and generously dust it with flour. No matter how thick the flour is, don't worry. It will come off naturally when you turn the dough out. Sprinkle another thick layer of flour on top.
It feels just like cotton candy, so soft and comfortable. I really wish you could experience it. As for how many pieces to cut, it depends on how many you want. If you're making it for lunch or dinner, you can cut them a bit bigger. If you use more flour, first, it won't stick and is easier to handle, and second, the pattern will look prettier.
Since I'm eating it myself, I don't mind squishing it a bit. First, shape it into a neat rectangle and decide how big you want each piece to be. Here, I'm going to cut it into 10 pieces. After moving each piece aside, you can reshape it into a square again if needed. Be careful not to let them stick together. If you're worried about sticking, sprinkle a bit more dry flour on the surface. Cover with a proofing cloth and let them rise for 20 minutes. If you're also using a stone oven, remember to preheat it 30 minutes in advance. All done. Once they've risen nicely and have a good color, you can take them out.